So let's begin with this. And please weigh in on the chat. And there's already some of our favorites, as I mentioned, in the chat right now. Weigh in on this one. So this is the Connor McDavid elbow to the head of Marcus Johansson yesterday. Now, Johansson left the game. He didn't come back. There's no minor penalty on it. And there's no fine. There's no suspension. There is nothing. And here's the way that I look at it. I'm curious your thoughts on this one as well. Zach, please weigh in on the chat. So here it is. Here's McDavid rushing by. A little bit of a tap on the chin there. The way I look at this one is that should have been a penalty. 2-minute minor. In the rule book, elbowing is a minor penalty. It can rise to a higher level of punishment, but there is a penalty for elbowing. That to me is a missed minor penalty. That's it. There wasn't he wasn't charging at him with his elbow up high. He wasn't. It was more of a reflex, little quick sort of tap than something deliberate, premeditated. I'm hunting this guy. It was nothing like that. But should it have been a penalty? Yes, a minor penalty, and it was missed. And that's why, as much as like some of the chat on the Morning Cup of Hockey show this morning, I was on the chat pretty much the whole show, and there were a lot of people that were fines or suspensions for Connor McDavid. I just see it, Zach, at most a 2-minute minor. That's it, because that is in the rule book. You do have that penalty. Not every elbow to the head has to be a suspension or a fine or both.
Okay. I'm not going to, when I say this, I'm not talking about something egregious. I'm not talking about going and suspending this guy for 5 to 10 games. I'm kind of surprised that there's no additional something after this.
Why?
And not even suspension here. Because the way I looked at it was this was a defenseless player, and he saw. I get what you're saying, it's a reflex as he's going by, but he sticks out his elbow. He very clearly sticks out his elbow to get him and hits him in the chin.
Yeah. It's a missed penalty.
But the NHL is trying to get rid of head contact. This is a big thing that they're trying to remove. We've seen here where you're trying to remove or eliminate hits to the head. Is that am I wrong on that?
Okay, but then change the rule book. Make that an automatic ejection. There is in the rule book, there is a penalty. There is a minor penalty for elbowing. And as we've talked about before, you will never see an elbowing penalty when you hit someone in the shoulder or in the chest or in the, elbow. You'll only get an elbowing penalty when you hit someone in the head. So I'm with you as long as you're changing the rule book. But as it stands right now, that's a minor penalty. And it was missed.
The other thing I'll throw out here, which it's hard because it's McDavid, and I don't think he's intending to injure people. And I see producer Victor in the chat disagreeing with me, but which is fine. But here's the other thing for me, and I think you will agree with this. Connor McDavid is so good that he is in control and is well aware that Johansson is there and coming, and
I agree.
Gets him in. But the problem for me, Jeff, is he gets him in the chin. It's a defenseless player who's going out that he gets in the chin with an elbow. It's an elbow to the head. To me, that screams supplemental discipline. Again, when I'm saying this, because people are going to be mad at me, I get it. I'm not yelling 5-10 game suspension here. I don't even know if it's worthy of a suspension. But a fine. I could see a fine coming from this. I would argue for a fine because it's a hit to the head against a defenseless player, and I think that he knew what he was doing.
Then change the rule book.
The other thing.
I'm with you. Then change the rule book. But as it stands right now, there is a penalty for elbowing, and it is 2 minutes. If it's egregious, then and to the point about there's a couple of things here. One, they have suspended Connor McDavid before. So this isn't just, we're protecting a star, and it's Connor McDavid, we have to look. He sat down 2 games for his hit on Nicoletti back in 2019. So this is not a case of, there's protecting the stars, and he can do whatever he wants. Here's the hit. So for this one on Leddy in 2019, he got 2 games for that one. So it's not as if the Department of Player Safety has, changed the rules around Connor McDavid. Look at that. Goes at, hits the head, target, all of it. That one is legit 2-game suspension. This one's an elbow to the chin. This one's a little tap. And that's fine. Like, I understand what you're saying. But if you're going to do that, then change the rule book. Make it different. If you're going to do that. And there was on the Morning Cup of Hockey chat this morning, there was a lot of, well, what if Matt Rempe did that? Would it have been like a 10-game suspension? No, it wouldn't have. Would have been the exact same thing, because that is more of a reflex going by than deliberately skating at the player, targeting the head, and bam, elbow to the chin. He went by him and he hit him with the elbow. He chicken winged him a little pop in the chin. It's a missed minor. Do we suspend on missed minors? Like, the penalty for that is just like Hartman on Draisaitl. Hartman on Draisaitl was the same thing. That was another missed minor penalty yesterday.
Right. Okay. So your point though is more so that based on the rule book as of right now, is that what the rules say point blank would imply that is just a penalty and nothing more.
Correct.
That is okay. What I guess what I'm saying more so then would be, I think that rule, to our friend Patrick Burke, I think that rule and the Department of Player Safety, I think that's stupid.
They don't write the rule book.
I think that's stupid.
The Department of Player Safety doesn't write the rule book.
They are taking a look at it is more so what my implication is after the fact, and they're determining that by the rules. I am just lumping them into that. It's just, I think that's dumb. I think that is a penalty, and more. I think that's more. It is an elbow to the head of a defenseless player by a guy who knew what he was doing.
So let me ask you then this question. Does every elbow to the head, because as we've talked about, elbowing minors are always to the head. Show me the 2 minutes for elbowing when you catch someone in the chest. So every elbowing penalty is an elbow to the head. If that is true, then does every elbowing penalty raise to the level of suspension for you? Is that where we're at?
Well, then maybe that would
not for me.
Honestly, that's the thing. So you're right. And I don't have I can't argue that. Like, I just can't. I don't have anything else to say about that one. With the elbowing, because you threw that out there at me the other day, and I was like, like, what do I say to that? That's right. But like, it's a hit to the head. It's a hit to the chin too. I don't know.
Barely touched him.
I think it should have been more.
If you enjoyed that video, and we certainly hope that you do, please hit the subscribe button right there here at Daily Faceoff. I will put this lineup up against any hockey lineup anywhere. It all gets underway at 9 o'clock Eastern with Morning Cup of Hockey. That is Johnny Lazarus. That is Colby Cohen. Then at noon, it's DFO Live. And then 3 o'clock Eastern, The Sheet. Get caught up on everything in hockey.